Okay, that's my cue. It's 10 o'clock. I will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 17th, 2024 to order. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Lord, how blessed we are that in the morning we can lay our requests before you and sit and wait in expectation for the goodness that you, only you can bring, the peace that you offer, not of this world, but of yourself. I pray for all the individuals in this room that they have peace and kindness in their hearts, that their day goes smoothly, that the Holy Spirit walk with them every step of the way, and they allow the Holy Spirit to enter into their hearts so they can be the servants that you want us to be, not that we would have ourselves be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anyone signed up? I know there's somebody signed up to speak.
Yes, Madam President, there's several people signed up for public comment.
Thank you. Cody Goldsmith. Oh, you're okay. Sorry. Brett?
I just wanted to. Oh, okay. Start looking down the hour one like I feel like I'm at a football game. Commissioners, staff, attendees, my name is Rhett Dusenberry, District Representative for Congressman Alex Mooney. I just wanted to speak to y'all real quick, and on behalf of Congressman Mooney, thank you for allowing us to be of service to y'all for the congressional office. And I just wanted to say personally, it's been a pleasure, and we'll be still in operation now. Perfect example, our district director's on the way to the Panhandle to do an inventory on that office. Our transition will be in process, but we still will be handling the same things that we do. There may be a little uncertain case for continuity with a senatorial office or whatever, but we'll be doing everything that we do, letters of support, whatever inquiry or anything we can do for you. And just want to say personally, it's been a pleasure to work with y'all. I attend a lot of commission meetings for a lot of counties, and y'all do a wonderful job for the citizens of Harrison County and citizens of West Virginia. So thank you for allowing me to be part of serving the citizens with y'all. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you as well, Red.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna
go right ahead. Jason Martin.
Okay, there we are. Tag. That tag into the
So I'm Jason Martin, Harrison County residents. I live in Shinnston, West Virginia. About 13 years ago, put a bike shop in Shinnston. So most people was like, you're nutty for putting a bike shop in Shinnston. But we saw a movement of cycling happen in West Virginia. We was trying to get ahead of the curve on that. One of those movements is the Harrison County Rail Trail and the Rail Trail System Network through West Virginia. As most of you guys know, rail trails bring in a lot of outside dollars into small businesses. So it's not just about the trail itself, it's about the growth along the trail as well. And we're talking about like rural areas that don't have a lot of income coming into them. These trail networks go through them, and these people all got some money to spend while they're in our beautiful state. Our number one, in my opinion, our number one resource is our beauty of our state. I totally support the rail trail. I know there's like a land acquisition might be happening for the West Fork Rail Trail to continue upstream. I see that a great thing. We have the West Fork Rail Trail going to Fairmont now. Marion County has done a great job connecting down there. I guess there's more things happening in there. Of course, up on our end, the power plants there, and some things is happening there. And there's some broken segments. Eventually, the big goal is the P2P, Pittsburgh to Parkersburg. When that gets all connected, that is going to roll in a lot of people, outside dollars. So, that's one of the main things we want to do. It's one thing to, have dollars come in locally here, and that's great. But when you have outside, revenue coming into our state, that's wonderful. So, like I said, I have a bike shop in Shenandoah. 13 years ago, we took this big stab at just doing something completely different, completely, rare. Everybody's like, why would you put a bike shop in Shenandoah? And honestly, as an entrepreneur, it's because of that rail trail. We knew that rail trail was going to feed that shop, and we've been blessed in the background with that. So we also host the West Virginia Gravel Series, which we host gravel races all over West Virginia. And that's something's growing too. And these rail trail connects these gravel routes. The OEDC is actually putting in gravel routes as we speak in our state. And these are routes that you as an outside person say, Patsy. So say Patsy was going to come into West Virginia, you would go on their website and be like, hey, there's a 20 or 30 mile gravel loop here, connected with the Harrison County Rail Trail for another gravel loop. So we have that element happening as well. So again, I just want to say, I support the rail trail movement forward and can get connected. So, all right. And that's all I really have.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Y'all were helpful to me one time. I was at your shop.
Thank you.
Rondo, you are speaking with, did you want to speak now or? Are you speaking on, you're one of the funding requests, correct? Yes. Okay. We'll wait till that time, okay? George Finley?
Good morning. I'm following up with what Jason came to talk about, which is the proposed or potential acquisition of the piece of ground in Spelter that would house part of the Harrison North Rail Trail. My name is George Finley. I'm a lifelong resident of Harrison County, business owner. I am an advocate or an avid trail user, volunteer, and advocate. I'm on the Harrison County Recreational Trail Board, formerly known as the Harrison Rail Trail Board. I'm on it, which is a local board. I'm on a regional board, which is the Mountaineer Trail Network, and I'm on a state board, which is appointed by Governor Justice, which is the West Virginia Recreational Trail Advisory. So I've become an advocate and believe in the trails. I've traveled around the state, really around the Southeast, visiting various trail systems. I see what it does for economic impact for communities and for states. It brings in tourism. And so I'm here today to make a pitch that when you all consider this acquisition in whatever facet you're going to try to acquire it in Spelter, that you approve it. This P2P that Jason spoke to, Parkersburg to Pittsburgh, will be, when it's completed, one of the longest trail systems in the United States, well over 150 miles. And it too will connect with the Gap in Cumberland to allow you to go to DC. So it's going to be quite a system. We've made great strides in recent years with some of the gaps, one of which was just done by you all. Congratulations with the Wilsonburg connector that goes to Adamston. There are Parkersburg's working on a small gap, Fairmont's working on a small gap, but this one in Spelter is critical. Without it, you're just not going to get this P2P ever done. So I guess while they're working on the Wilsonburg thing and they're working on other gaps, it sounds to me like this one in Spelter might take a little bit of time. So I guess I would leave you with the old adage that there's no time like the present. Thank you.
Thanks. 10:05, William Ramsey nuisance, A and B.
Good morning. I have Bill Ramsey here with me, and he has a home over in Adamston on Junkins Avenue. We've been trying several years to try to get him to tear this house down, and we had some discrepancies about it. So I told him that I would start the process over for him, which I did. We have waited We waited our 30 days and he did cut back a little bit of brush. And that's about it. I set him up for a hearing. He had that amount of time as well, which was, I know, over 30 days. And he still hasn't been able to do anything. He thinks that he can salvage this house. Robert does not think that he can. And I do have Robert here with me so he can let you know the condition of that house. Yes, he's
I
right
have
here.
First notice, I mean, says 4/5/24. I'm looking at a certified mailing. And if I'm not mistaken, he signed on 3/30/17. Is this how long this has been going on?
That's when I
what-
started the process over for him. Actually, we've been with him since 2019.
I'm just trying to make heads or tails. It looks like we just, on this, it looks like we just started in April. But when I look through the packet, it looks like it was a long time ago. 7 years ago.
Exactly. That's when it first
But you're saying
started.
19, I got 17 on here. You said 19, the front
It's-
sheet shows April.
I'm
I'm a
sorry.
little confused.
I'm sorry. The one that has the oldest one, that's when the whole process started. We had some discrepancies. He was, I just told him that I would start it over. And that's when I started over in April.
And I know he's been here before.
Yes. But
So
that was for a
I-
different piece of property.
Okay. Bill, did you want to speak?
Yes, I I feel that I need to. Came in and talked this situation over with Charlotte recently, and she did start this over for me. In the 1st of November, I became ill, and I spent 22 days in January in a hospital with a artery bypass. And I just recently got released from the vascular surgeon at UHC. This house looks pretty bad in the pictures that you have there in front of you, but it's primarily cosmetic. Structurally, the house is pretty sound. Before I quit residing there, I had just fully insulated the house with R21 walls. That's all been completed except the one facing Clarksburg, the side, and a new roof was put on it. And then the backpackers and the drug addicts went in and knocked all the windows out, took the basement door off, which you can see from that photo. But this house is still salvageable, and I need a place to live now. So I'm asking you all to give me some time now that I've been released from the doctor to get started again. And I don't know if Charlotte, does the commissioners have a picture that you have of the work that I have done?
I don't know if that's
Okay.
the same property. This one is already down, it looks like. Is there two? There's two, yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's two properties. The
But
other
what
one
is
was
already
burnt.
rotted away?
That one burnt down, and
Okay.
we've asked him a long time to get that cleaned up as well.
Madam President.
Do you have a do you have a recommendation, Charlotte?
I do, Madam President.
I'd like to tear it down.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner Hinkle? Or comments?
You have somebody else from your staff to speak
Robert.
structure.
Mr. Ramsey did clean up some brush from the front. He's obviously had a lot of health problems, hasn't done much in property. I've been here since 2021 and have seen almost no progress with this property since I have started, other than a little bit of brush taken out of the front. I'd like to believe that he could fix it, but with his health and with the time that we've given him and not seen anything happen, I just don't see it.
So where are you living now?
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Where are you living right now?
I'm living with a friend of mine.
I think I kind of get a feel part of this commission wants to go ahead and condemn it. I'm gonna ask that you be given 30 days, and if it looks the same, then we're gonna have to condemn it, sir. We don't have any choice. So if you can't make some improvement in 30 days, that's my recommendation. I don't know if the rest of the commission will agree to that, but I'm willing to give you one last chance if they are.
Call the question.
I didn't call his, or is, I haven't heard a motion.
Motion to get extended 30 days, come back, if it still looks the same, then we'll make up a recommendation.
Yeah, and as far as the backpackers and the drug addicts, the children of God, just like we are. Call the police. I agree with Commissioner.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I can't hear you.
As far as the drug addicts and the backpackers, the children of God, just like everybody in this room, call the police on them, and we'll do our due diligence to help you. And as far as your house is concerned, Susan's right. It has been since 2017, because I have the verbiage in front of me. And I agree with Commissioner Hinkle. We're being more than fair, giving you 30 days to do what you think is cosmetic, and we don't believe to be.
Okay, so we want to, the motion is to come back in 30 days.
Yes.
Can you be parcel specific? Because there are two parcels here.
Do we want to give the address? Having that.
I think we could go ahead and amend Commissioner Hinkle's that the one that's been burnt down, the demolition begins immediately. And we can do that, Madam Manager, right? And when it's on burn, when it's a burnt structure, we can begin immediately, right? Yes, and the one that's burnt, we can begin immediately, and then the one that's not, we give the 30 days.
Thank you.
Is that, you okay with that? Okay, so the motion is to move forward with demolition on tax map 112422. That's okay. I just want to make sure. And then the motion was to give 30 days for tax map 1124 parcel 48, which is the house. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Get something done, Bill.
Okay.
Please. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? I kind of left Zoom out. Anyone on Zoom wish to speak public? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to 1010, which is Mr. Griffin with the Black Heritage Festival.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
First, I'd like to thank you for the support that you've given the West Virginia Black Heritage Festival over 30 years. We're planning another festival for this year. We take a lot of pride in what we do. We feel like that our festival is an example of what our community is all about. A lot of people come to our festival. It's amazing. We bring in the entertainment, and they're really surprised at what they find here in West Virginia. A lot of people, when they say West Virginia, have a negative opinion of us, and they come here and they really have an enjoyable time and say, "Hey, I want to come back here." And we're glad that happens. Last year, I saw a young man sitting on the plaza, and he kept looking at me, and he looked at me, and he said, "Can I have a word with you?" And I said, "Yeah." He's a pretty big fella. And he said, "You're here at the festival, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I was reading about it on the internet." He said, I'm from Pittsburgh. He said, I played for Pitt, started to run him out of town after he said that. But he said, I also played for the Steelers. And he said, my wife and I were just looking for something to do. And he said, we saw your piece on the Facebook and we decided to come down. And, you know, he's been in contact with me 2 or 3 times since then, saying he's coming back down again. He said it was really enjoyable. It was family friendly. He just couldn't believe that something like this was going on here. And he said, I'm sorry I missed it over the years. He said, but I'll be back. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to present our festival in a very positive way. And we're looking forward to another positive year. Again, we thank you for the support that you've given us over the years, and hopefully you can continue to support us. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam President, motion to give $3,000 to the Black Heritage Festival for 3-day event.
Okay, motion's made to give $3,000 to the Black Heritage Festival for the 3-day event. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Would like to amend that.
$3,000 is our policy, I believe, for a
Yeah, it is.
3-day event. And personally, I think we need to stick to our policies.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jenny,
I
but that's
appreciate
the policy for a 3-day event. Are you willing to amend your motion?
No, and then just, you know, Lost Creek asked for 3,500 too. They're getting $3,000 too.
Okay, all in favor of the $3,000 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. 1015, special funding request from the Covered Bridge River Jacks requesting $3,000 for the West Milford baseball field to repair drainage and level the playing field.
So this kind of got thrown on my lap because someone couldn't get off work.
Just identify yourself for the
My
record.
name is Cody Goldsmith. I have children on the River Jacks organization. So we took over the field in West Milford on an agreement. Our 9U team did. So this field hadn't been touched in 20 years. It looked like a swamp. With donations and everything else, we got this field where they're pretty much playing on rock and dirt. So now things have changed since we put this request in. We actually, with United Way's help, we got Berkshire Hathaway and Eastern. They're on board with us with equipment, volunteers. They've already tore dugouts down and rebuilt them. Now we're looking at the infield dirt and drainage. So that's what our request is for. We have, I think, 6 different teams in our organization with several kids from Harrison County that play on these teams, from anywhere from 8U to 14U. Once we get this field up and operational, we also our 11U and 12U have Lost Creek field. So we're looking to hold tournaments and everything else in our area, which will bring in over 1,000 and some kids several times a week. Bridgeport already does this, brings in a lot of money for the county as well, between hotels, restaurants, and stuff like that. So we're just asking the request for that amount for dirt and help with the drainage, and that will actually help with our cost with Berkshire Hathaway as well. So thank you.
Thank you. What's the pleasure?
North Parks and Rec participate in this program.
Excuse me?
Can Parks and Rec participate in supplying some of these?
So again, we're back to the levy on that, I believe, of Parks and Rec. We had this discussion already, I believe, with this park.
So we are limited in
Taking
what
a
we can,
different route.
correct, do with this park because it is not a county park and the levy money is specific for Harrison County Parks and Recreation.
Mr. Attorney, would you go through that and make sure that we're 100% that we can use our money for parks outside parks?
Motion approved $3,000 to River Jacks Covered Bridge for dirt for the baseball field and drainage.
Okay, motion has been made to donate the $3,000 to Covered Bridge River Jacks. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. 1020, special funding. Oh, good luck. You can't see me. Special funding request from Lost Creek Community Festival, Inc., requesting $3,500 for entertainment at their festival in September. Now, Ronald, you can.
Hello. As y'all know, I'm Ronald Lake. I'm president of Lost Creek Community Festival, and I'll come for you guys for a $3,500 request to put on our festival again this year, which will be held September the 20th and 21st in Lost Creek. And like this gentleman here said, it brings out several hundred people out to our community every year. And if you've never been there, you ought to come. I know Patsy's been there several times. It's a great little thing that we put on for the people in the surrounding areas. So that's why I'm here for today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Lake?
Motion approved $3,000 for their festival.
Motion to approve $3,000 for the Lost Creek Community Festival. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion carried. Okay, number 2, consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices, A through C. It's a pleasure.
Motion approved A through C.
Motion to approve payroll changes A through C. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carried. We have no minutes and or amended minutes, correct, under number 4?
That is correct.
Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices, A and B. What's the pleasure?
For discussion.
We need a motion for discussion.
Make a motion. Discuss. Oh, that's made it.
Did you make the motion?
Motion approve A and B, please.
Okay, motion to approve number 5, A and B. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. The purchase order approval for a car, the Jacobs. Last time we approved a car to be purchased, it was to be purchased in Harrison County. Mr. Treecost and the commission, and Jenkins Ford is not Harrison County. And I don't see anybody on this list who's not priced to be in Harrison County. So just curious why it worked for purchasing one car and it doesn't work for purchasing another car. If Mr. Treecost can explain that, then I'll know how things work in the future.
Madam President, if I may, one thing, I'm sure our mechanics did call around to get a quote from the different dealerships here in Harrison County. So the vehicle that has been spec'd out is one that is already wired for lights and sirens and everything for what this vehicle will be used for. So we are limited on who can sell those vehicles. Could be one of the reasons why that there isn't someone from Harrison County that was able to bid on this particular vehicle. The vehicle that we were referencing before was just a Traverse that any dealership, Chevy dealership could carry, so to say. So there is a difference there.
I do believe in the past, we've bought several vehicles from out of the county, so.
Yes, ma'am, but the last one we tried to buy, Mr. Treecost said that come from Harrison County.
That's right.
So it's in the minutes that he said that, so I'd like to know why that's changed.
Things change.
So Mr. Treecost, you're okay?
And
with
she more or less.
If Mr. Treecost is okay.
You know, you going at this.
Purchasing
This is getting
outside
so
the county.
old. I'm sorry. This is okay. Go ahead, you two.
I just
This is
want
what
to
you
answer.
want to do.
No, I just
Yeah,
want-
necessities, David.
Well, Susan, I just try to understand why we purchased.
I
in
could
one
ask a lot, I
county
could
and
try to
outside the other
understand a lot of things with you, but you know what? I try to move forward with county business. And
This
that's
is a
what,
county business.
yes, it is, but I
So
believe
then why are we purchasing outside the county this time?
Laura just explained to you why.
So then we couldn't go with the other one that was outside the county then the last time?
We didn't vote that way.
Okay. Just want everybody knows when it comes to cars.
Yeah, you want to know about cars? I can tell you a lot about cars.
Please tell us all about.
No, I don't want to today. I
Question,
want,
Madam President.
okay. Did you make the motion to purchase the vehicle? Okay,
No, made motion to approve A and B, please.
okay, motion, that's right. Any further discussion from anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, exoneration corrective tickets, joint applications, A, B, and C. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve A through C, please.
Motion to approve number 6, A through C. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021 A and B, Development District number 3, White Oaks Project number 2, and Series 2008A Charles Point Project number 2, Northland Bay Improvements. We have one for $1,496.16 for 2008A.
Motion to approve A, please.
Motion to approve number 7A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, review, discuss, consider usage study at courthouse not to exceed $14,500.
Madam President, this was put on the agenda to discuss having a usage study at the courthouse for the unutilized office spaces that are still over in that facility.
Motion to turn study over to the Harrison County Court System.
Motion's been made to turn the study over to the Harrison County Court System. Is that?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. They sent a letter out saying that they should be in charge or could be part of it, so they can handle the house be used.
Madam President, just a matter of discussion. Just a matter of discussion, just that we could probably just go ahead and call the Supreme Court, and the facility director is Kim Ellis in Charleston, and she'll probably not need the $14,500 off if they go ahead and do it annually for courthouses. So the space for the judges is determined by the Supreme Court. So we don't have to do it.
Well, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no.
No. And it's the facilities director, Madam Administrator, you're looking to talk to.
In my understanding, someone told me that this was done previously, which it should have been a long time ago. But anyways, number 9, review, discuss, consider signing letter of support for Harrison County Economic Development Corporation. I assume that's what that stands for. Application to the West Virginia Department of Economic Development to become part of the Build West Virginia District with Doddridge and Lewis counties. Did you want to explain any of this? Do you want? I mean, it's, you know.
I don't need to explain it. This is great. They've already done this in other parts of the state. It's been so effective, and I'm glad we're.
Partnership.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
I also shared the I-79 corridor group. This is one of our top 3 priorities. So we really.
I just wanted to give you the opportunity.
Yeah, motion to approve the signature and support.
Okay, motion to approve signing the letter and approval. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Wow.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 10, review, discuss, consider appointment of new member for Charles Point Community Enhancement District Board, James Parker.
Madam President, this particular seat on the Charles Point Community Enhancement District Board is vacant. The person who currently sits there does not wish to run for reappointment. So they have reached out and recommend that Mr. Jamie Parker fill this seat. He did fill out the board and appointment data information sheet like we request. And I would recommend approving this appointment.
What's the pleasure for number 10?
Motion to approve James Parker.
Motion to approve James Parker.
Step down.
Is there any discussion?
You step down.
Terry Scoble.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Number 11, review, discuss, consider update on nuisance case for Charles and Jody Burris, 362 Limestone Road, Clarksburg.
Yes, drove by the property the other day. Outside of some vegetation being removed, I didn't see any progress. We spoke with Jody Burris on the phone the other day, and she said she had hired a neighbor to do repairs and remove vegetation out. I don't feel like she went by to check what kind of work was getting done.
So
I
what's your recommendation?
So just go ahead and send it to court.
Motion to send it to court as stated by the planning department.
Motion to send this property, 362 Limestone Road, Clarksburg, West Virginia, to the circuit court for recommendation of staff. Any further, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thanks, Robert. Number 12, review, discuss, consider budget revisions for circuit clerk's office.
Motion to approve circuit clerk office budget revision, please.
Motion to approve circuit clerk's budget revisions. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I see it's for deputies' salaries, for deputy salaries.
That is correct.
These are one explain.
So these are some of the circuit clerk Morano's staff that their salaries ended up, that line item went in the negative. One thing he usually does is hires extra help for that line item, or so then that way he has someone helping. Unfortunately, as you see in the extra help line item, nothing was spent out of that line item. So his staff then picked up, you know, the extra work that was there. So that's moving money from extra help and from his overtime line item to make up for that salary and retirement. And he also took money out of materials and supplies.
Was this out of last year's budget or this year's budget?
Last year's budget.
So we're moving money from last year's budget to this year's budget for salaries?
No. So all this is to finalize the books for last fiscal year. This is him within that last fiscal year, still the same amount of money in his budget, just moving it between line items to make them not negative for closing the books for last fiscal year.
He was negative $27,000 in salaries.
My question is that in the current budget?
Never.
I mean, it's a little.
No, I'm just saying, did he?
So he has money and extra help for the current budget, and whether it will work out that he's able to hire part-time extra help to do the scanning and the different things, because part of that is usually a $10,000 grant that he receives as well.
I mean, I guess I'm not.
I understand the question.
Yeah, because I mean, he's put that in salaries lines. That has nothing to do with extra help.
Right.
There's an extra help line and there's a salary.
Correct. And so he
So
didn't.
what is he going to be able to cover his salaries for this current year?
No.
If he uses his current employees to do this extra work, the scanning and stuff that is done, then no, his salary line item will be in the negative.
So last week it was $130,000 for security. This week it's $27,000 for the circuit clerk, just for the record.
But if this is in his budget.
Okay.
He has.
Yeah.
But I see what you're, I
won't be
see
there
what
next
you're,
year either.
I know what you're referring to.
You know exactly.
Yep, I do.
So,
This is something that we need to make a note of.
yeah, because.
But we added all for future to the building on Chestnut Street.
We're just playing numbers of extra help. So if you're saying if he hired extra help, what's it?
Correct. So if he would have hired extra help, it wouldn't have come at part-time extra help would have come out of the extra help line item and would not come out of salaries. Instead, he's using his full-time current employees.
And you have to pay retirement.
Yeah.
And
On the-
benefits on your employees where you don't with extra help.
With part-time, that is correct.
Making that, throwing that out.
This physical year, we like. I mean, this is. We seem to be hit here, but this is the second time for salaries.
But we've already approved their budgets for the current
year.
Yeah, so I'm saying we need to make note of this. I think that's what my 2 cents for next year.
Don't forget about the shortage, David. Just for a matter of record, we're short deputies. So we're spending money that we don't even have a person for.
Just for clarification, this is circuit clerk deputies. These are the ladies up on the 4th floor.
Yeah.
I understand. Mr.
Okay.
Call the question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 13, review, discuss, consider update from Brad Riffey, Executive Director of United Way.
Good morning. My name is Brad Riffey. I'm the Executive Director of United Way of Harrison and Downridge Counties. I appreciate the opportunity to provide an update. I know the office has been trying to schedule a time for me to come in. I do want to extend my apologies. I was on leave. I had to take leave of absence for various reasons. Glad to be back and moving forward. So very glad to be here too to provide this update. Upon the County Commission support, I believe that was at the end of April, United Way moved forward with the best plan possible and quickly onboarded 2 case managers who are currently out there working with our staff at the street level to, really intercept a population that needs our help, needs our love, care, and attention. So working through this process with staff, whom I firmly believe in, when we approach things as a team unit, we've been able to implement these 2 case managers in a way that I believe fully addresses the original intent of what we had all discussed before, is to have folks out there at the street level and get people connected to the recovery options that they need to better their lives. And we're doing that. And I have staff here today to talk about some of that success. But, I know there are a lot of questions that have come up in the past month and a half about how certain things should move forward. So, after looking at it, I thought it would be I thought it would be good based on the process that you've all created, which I think is great, to visit this plan through the committee that has been formed. And I think this is a great thing. I think it's an opportunity for us to work through questions, clearly outline a plan. That way everyone has clear expectations, not only us and the commission, but the community, and begin to give folks hope in a process that creates significant results. And that's what we all want at the end of the day is the right plan. And really, in my professional opinion, there's no one else out there in the community who's doing this work like our staff is at United Way through the Resilience Collaborative. These folks are out there every single day. They eat and breathe this community. And I have Marissa here today to share some of the results that we've been able to produce here in just the past few months. So I would ask the commission, and I'll give Marissa a chance to share those results, but I would ask the commission that we continue to move forward together through this process, because ultimately, I know at the end of the day, the more parties we have involved and the more collaborative efforts we put together, in the end, are 10 times more successful. And I think that's what we want for this community. And on top of that, our staff's been doing this for the past 4 years. We've been actively out there doing exactly what we talked about. And that's getting our brothers and sisters to a place where they can heal in all kinds of different ways, shapes, and forms. So be happy to answer any questions, and would like to give Marissa an opportunity to share those results with the commission, if that's okay with you.
Just briefly.
In 2023, our agency housed 50 individuals experiencing homelessness with 1 return to homelessness. To date, in 2024, we have been successful in housing 36 individuals in Harrison County and 20 individuals we have connected directly from our street outreach program to inpatient substance use disorder treatment and ensured that they had a discharge plan in place following their inpatient treatment. We've facilitated 16 connections to primary care, 11 connections to mental health treatment, and 10 connections to specialty care. Additionally, we have provided shelter and holistic intensive case management with a focus on housing placement and healthcare connection to 42 individuals in this county, the majority of whom were families with children. Street outreach work can be quite bleak. What has worked in our experience is building healthy connections and rapport over time. This is a layered, iterative process, and there are no easy, fast solutions in this work. We have most of these outcomes have been made possible through this process of building trust and rapport and hope over months or even years and failing and trying again. And some of them have been made possible simply because somebody incredibly kind was accessible at street level at the right time and made a connection that changed the trajectory of a person's life. We do this work day in, day out, knowing that there is no guarantee of immediate results. And because we believe it is the right thing to do. We have established partners in this work, and we provide services to WVU Medicine, UHC, and the Harrison County Board of Education on a referral basis already. We have been doing this work, as Brad said, for 4 years, day in, day out. We have many established processes and partners in place to support the work that we do. And I believe that the plan, as we've discussed, to provide services to the Sheriff's Department is still very feasible, and we're ready to provide that support.
Thank you. Do we really have any action to be taken at this time on number 14?
You at getting separated so that we can consider the money that we offered about the finance.
I think he's.
Yeah, we're still working on that. First Guarantee Bank's going to house all those accounts. So I've actually signed the paperwork to make sure all this money. That's one thing I think coming up with the plan and making sure everything's on paper so there's full transparency.
But can I?
Sure.
We already voted for the funds.
Yep.
Do we need, but now you're going to do an application.
Yeah, I think there's been some questions that have been brought up, and I'm sorry.
Talk to these guys up here.
Okay.
Do we need to retract that and start over with the application process? That's my question, because we voted to give them, was it 100, 200? Yeah, 200, 100 each. So that's my question. That's out there.
But we also said that for them to make sure that it was separated, we weren't going to give it to the actual page in United Way, that they had to set up a separate entity.
I understand. I get that. But now he's coming as the United Way, right?
Correct. We are United Way. This program is a direct service of United Way.
You filed an application.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's my question. Are we going to do this twice? Or do we carry that over? Or do we need to think about it? But turn it up, just turn it off.
There we go. So to make a clear record, I probably would do it twice. Just so we have a clear, defined record. And it's never questioned.
I mean, you say do it twice. Just leave it the way we got it now.
I would put it on the next agenda, retract the prior vote, and then affirm and ratify.
Whatever we do once the application is received.
Correct.
To the committee, or brought to the commission.
Correct.
Okay.
Madam President, may I add one last thing?
Sure.
I think once everybody's able to see a plan on paper and we're all on the same page, because that's what we want, right? We want to all move forward together.
I think based on the merits of that program and what you see, it'll be very easy for the commission to say, you know what, we thank you, and this is something we would like to support.
But it just concerned me that we've got that out there.
And Madam President, I agree with Trey, and I think it would be good to have everything listed down on paper. That way we know what expectations are of one another and make sure that those are met and they're down on paper, not just implied or whatever. I think that's why a lot of questions have arose. And so I definitely agree with Trey.
So we can take this up. There's nothing to do today as far as this. We want to bring this up under another agenda item next week. Correct?
If I may, Commissioner Hinkle, so I'm the director of the Resilience Collaborative, but we operate within the United Way. I'm United Way staff. All of our staff that belong within the Resilience Collaborative work for United Way. However, our accounting is done separately. So the funding that we bring in, we write grants to fund the majority of our work. We also have the support of several private foundations, and that accounting is separate from the United Way campaign. It does not run through the United Way campaign or anything like that. It funds our activities specifically.
Thank you. Okay, number 14, review, discuss, consider, no, that was 14, sorry. Review, no. Review, discuss, consider money for a social worker who is county employee.
Madam President, I know that this has been discussed on and off between myself and with the commissioner different times. I mean, at this point in time, I don't know if you want to take any action on it, or we just hold off till we figure out everything that's going on with the United Way until we find out some more.
I think you need to find out a lot as far as where you're wanting to take this money as well and who can use it. I think that.
And where they'll be housed.
Exactly. There's a lot to be done on this. So are we good to move on? No action on number 14?
Correct.
15, review, discuss, consider resolution authorizing the acquisition of the parcels owned by United International, Inc. by condemnation or eminent domain for further development of rail trail system in northern Harrison County.
I may defer to Trey on this one.
Sure, I'll speak to it. So this is how we kicked off the CSX acquisition as well. Started with the resolution, which allowed us to really show them that the commission was serious about moving on the project. The Goldeyes and United International tracks have been in process since approximately 2019, if not earlier. This is the section which is across the business plan going north in Harrison County, headed towards Shinston, as you heard earlier. The resolution is designed to give staff a document to take to the owner of the parcel, as well as to the financial institutions who have a secured interest in the properties and trying to start discussions. This property was historically appraised for $90,000 on a fee simple basis in 2021. You all do not have to take the entire fee. CSX we did because of some unique issues in dealing with the railroad, which are not present here at this time. We're dealing with a local entity and local lenders. So my recommendation would be to approve the resolution for the purpose of really kicking off the acquisition to the north, but that you all closely oversee and monitor the scope and the work which is done pursuant to the resolution. And why I say that is I don't want to overstep the initial purpose of the resolution, which is just to start a discussion. If the commission would move forward and acquire, we would go through a much more detailed process, best and final offer letter, negotiation. We have to update the appraisal as well. But again, the intent here is just to get the ball rolling to continue the momentum in the trail system and push it to the. Any questions? I'm happy to speak to it.
Just motion to approve the resolution to get the ball moving so that we can get the scope moving forward so that you as an attorney can get the process started, which we know from CSX could take many, many, many months.
Okay, the motion's been made to move forward with the resolution for the property owned by United International, Inc. by condemnation of eminent domain, further development, correct? Any discussion?
I'm trying to picture where this is in my head.
You know,
It's, when I look at Spelter, coming out of Spelter to go towards Shinsta, there is a piece of property that we don't own. Is this different than that one?
So the best attached to the agenda packets is the appraisal 2021 completed by Jake Oldman. There are a series of maps. If you look at page 39 in red, it delineates this approximately 3-mile section going north. It starts where near the bridge off of Meadowbrook Road, where it hits 19, it travels north up to the proximity of the power plant in Harrison County.
it's right across the street where we tore down the house, David, in the S-turn, where we're gonna auction off the piece of property. This gentleman has a beautiful piece of property that he maintains, part of the trail actually for us. And it literally then just goes into the woods.
I guess where I'm confused, Patsy, is there's a John Van Horn that owns the rail trails. We come out of Spelter on before we get to this piece. And so I'm trying to understand why we're not doing the same thing for it.
I agree with you, let's do it.
I mean, we're leapfrogging.
Yeah, I don't mean to.
On the properties.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you, Commissioner. So the county owns or will soon own the landing for the bridge.
No, we own that.
Okay, well, the deed, I'm not sure if the deed's been recorded yet. That's why.
Not yet.
That's why I couched it. But the deed will be recorded there. And then the county owns going north from that point approximately in the North View area. As you head north, we have an interest there, which goes past the Coke ovens, correct? And then is there another parcel which is a dead spot in that area? Is that what you're saying, Commissioner?
Yeah, you can't get from Spelter to Meadowbrook.
Okay. Well, there's another parcel that will need a similar resolution. To my knowledge, this is the largest outstanding section to take the trail to the north. And that's why we're really focused on it, just like we focused on CSX parcel. But again, we didn't. It's like building a pipeline project. There are going to be gaps. There are going to be segments. CSX was the linchpin because of the rail trail board. And by the rail trail board, I'm meaning that they could have taken the case to DC in theory because of some legislation from the federal government. So if we want to move it north, this is my recommendation is to move on this and see if we can make some progress.
And we can double check on what he's doing.
We can certainly check. We're going to have to close all the gaps, but the more local owners there are, the easier from a legal perspective it is to move the project.
My only comment is I am 100% behind the rail trails. But we have got to maintain what we have, and I'm not opposed to moving forward with this, but this is something that us as a county commission needs to take a look at.
I think you're spot on that we're gonna need more people to do that because
I was on them a couple weeks ago and I wasn't a happy camper, so.
As you told me 5 times. But I think, because you gotta remember, more of our work gets done on the rail trail in the fall and the spring and the winter, because our guys are just doing everything, and ladies are doing everything they can to keep up with the growth of grass. And so we have to be, in the fall, ready to go.
So next in this year's budget, how much did we budget for rail trail maintenance?
200.
It's acquisition maintenance.
So the rail trail line item is, I believe, $250,000. I don't have the budget exactly right here in front of
That's
me.
for maintenance and acquisitions.
That is for anything that the rail trail needs. That does not color salaries. That's in a different line item. So that's for the rock, the gravel, the equipment we might need, the signs, the trash cans, anything like that.
But that's just all I wanted to throw out there.
No, I agree. 100%. Both of you. David, I agree with David 100% that if there's property to be, more property to begin the process on, we begin as soon as possible. And I agree with Commission President that we have to put a plan together, Madam Administrator, to make this what we want it to be. One thing to talk about it.
And I think the committee that we want to put together will be very helpful. Okay. Okay. Any
All
further
questions?
discussion? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 16, review, discuss, consider order for oil and gas assessments. I think this is just something that slipped through the cracks. We voted on this before.
That is correct. So on February 21st, 2024, the Harrison County Commission heard the West Virginia Tax Division's application for relief for erroneous assessments. At that time, the commission voted. We did not officially have an order drawn up. So all this is doing is an order with the commission signature so we can have that in the official record.
And for the record, it's 2023 taxes that we're enabling the collections, the additionals for. So what would my motion be, Madam?
Motion
Madam
to
Attorney?
approve the order and fix the proper signatures. Is that
Yes,
correct?
as stated by you. Yes, please.
Motion to approve the order for oil and gas assessments and affix the appropriate signature or signatures.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, or any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
No.
Aye. Any opposed? There's none, motion carried. Number 17, review, discuss, consider budget revisions for general county.
Madam President, this is the general county budget revision that is due by the end of July. Originally in the budget, we had planned for a $3.5 million carryover. We ended up with more than that at the end of the fiscal year. So this is our budget revision to take that those extra funds and put it back into the general county budget for the next fiscal year.
Motion to do the budget revision for general county.
Motion to approve the budget revision for general county. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 18, review, discuss, consider letter to the Alcohol Beverage Control Administration. Yeah. The whole, I'm not even gonna try.
256.
Yeah, 256 Middletown Road, Shinnston, West Virginia. You
Motion.
can see the spelling, you'd understand.
I did a motion to approve the letter of Alcohol Beverage Control Administration for the Dollar General Store at 256 Middletown Road, Shinnston, West Virginia.
Okay, motion to approve the Alcohol Beverage Control Administration as stated for who was stated for the Dollar General Store, the Shinnston address. All in favor signify, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 19, review, discuss, consider travel request for Harrison County Community Corrections Day Report Center going to WVAADAC Professional Development Summit in Davis, West Virginia on July 23rd, 2024 for, it looks like 4 employees.
Motion to approve travel for the 4 employees.
Motion to approve the travel for the 4 employees. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Laura, number 20, Administrator's Report.
The only thing I have to bring up today is just a reminder to everyone, we have the Purple Heart Memorial on the plaza in front of the courthouse. We are still collecting names. We need to have X number of names together before they come out and engrave more. So if anyone happens to know a Purple Heart recipient, they can contact the commission office and Hazel can give them more information on what we need so we can get a name engraved for the family of the Purple Heart recipient. And that is all, Madam President.
Commissioner Henkel, under 21, Commissioner comments.
As far as the rail trail goes, I think it's ultimately it'll be a good project for the county, but we don't seem to have a hard set plan for how we're going to make this happen. We just keep shooting from the hip. We'll buy rail trail here, we'll build a bridge here, purchase property. I've yet to see a long-term plan and a budget come out of this commission on what our goals and what we think we have to do. And I think that we need to sit down. We don't need a committee. We need to sit down, the three of us, and work out what we want to accomplish with the rail trail, timeline, and the money. And then go forward with it. But just to say, I want to go take this piece of property, that piece of property, now picked up maintenance, and nobody can say what it cost us and how much we're going to set aside for it. And I just would like for us to sit down and do that, and then make that what we're going. It's going to happen. I don't think we have a plan that's yet to be shown to anybody in the public that I know of, or the commissioner discussed. I'm not even sure as a commissioner who'd walk in here and talk to you about it. Is that Laura? Or is that Trey? Or is that Thrasher? I don't know who's in charge of our rail trail development and what our plan is. I would just like for us to sit down, work that out, and then go forward with it. But shooting from the hip, just saying I want to go after somebody's land, just doesn't seem like the right way to do it. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Treetock? No. I have nothing.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.